We are live.
Are we on you right now?
We're on you. I just switched it.
Have the people seen your glasses?
Yeah, I think I did. I got a fair amount of insults, I think, saying I'm a geek or something. But
You look like a professor.
I saw one comment that was like, Mike, go do a math problem now.
that was a big thing.
Doesn't it make you want to like stuff him into a locker or something?
First of all, I'm not good at math. Second of all, those were mean comments.
You're a Greek that's not good at math.
Yeah.
Is that even?
Yeah, it's probably not.
It's like an Italian that doesn't eat pasta. That shouldn't exist.
I
It's
guess
a
you
rare
could say that.
species.
Yeah, you can go with that.
So, Dad, welcome back to the podcast. Second shot of the vaccine done. Let's get a round of applause.
Done.
Let's go.
How do you feel, guys?
Here we go.
First shot, nothing at all, 0.
You look taller though.
Second shot, I felt tired the next day. My legs felt tired. No fever, no shivering, nothing. Just felt tired. So I just relaxed the whole day. And then yesterday, back to normal.
Beautiful.
Back to 100%.
One step back to getting back to normal for everybody in the world. So thank you for getting the vaccine.
Yeah.
And Antonio's getting his second shot very soon. I know for all the people in the comments right now, where's Anto? Where's Anto? Is Anto coming? He will be getting his second shot very soon. And then we'll be totally back to normal.
Okay.
Which will be an exciting time. We got Ryan. Ryan, what's up over here?
What's going on?
I heard you took a lot of abuse this week, by the way, this past week. I wasn't on the stream. I caught some clips of Poli and you fighting though during the Man United game.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it gets heated at times, but it's all banter. So,
But
I mean,
good thing.
until Thursday, wait and see. The San Siro's, it's gonna be. We're gonna tear that down.
Good thing you were arguing just with your mouth and not with.
With your fist. Maybe for the second leg, it might be fists.
So you never know. Maybe when Paulie turns his head, I'll give him.
Whoa, that might not be the smartest decision. That might.
Yeah, I would not want to mess with that.
I gotta
guy
make
too
sure it
much.
was a clean shot. Otherwise, I'm fucked.
Otherwise, he's gonna come back at you. But I checked out the stream. It looked like it was all good stuff. We had another big week of Serie A fixtures, Serie A round, where I think a lot was decided this week, I will say. And I know when we were live with Ludo during his Napoli match where he was very excited and very happy. We're going to get to that. We're also going to preview Champions League because we've got still Atalanta against Real Madrid on Tuesday, which we're very much so looking forward to. Bayern Lazio, which is going to be a difficult one. And then Milan versus Man U will also be live for that on Thursday. So we got a lot to discuss. Serie A, this. If you're new over here, make sure you hit that subscribe button. It helps us out massively. Hit the like button if you enjoy our content. And stay tuned this week because we got a lot coming. Dad, what was on your mind this weekend?
No, what was on my mind right now was when you spoke about Ludovico, the clip that I saw yesterday.
Yeah.
That was so funny. So if they want to see it, where do they go?
It's on our Instagram. You'll see the
Instagram.
clip.
But can we show it? Like right now, could we show it?
We would have to plan a little bit to be able to press it.
What if I get it on my phone? Would they be able to listen
I'll put
to
the
it?
link in the chat.
Mike will put the link so that they can click on it.
So put the link because it's very, very funny.
I've
And
seen it.
and you know, if at a certain point during the podcast we say "ats," then you get a laugh.
Right.
Otherwise, you don't know what we're talking about.
Ryan, can you try to say it?
Ass.
No,
You're saying ass.
no, not as. That's not the way.
Go ahead.
Hey, you gotta see a little.
All right, ready?
Ludovico.
We'll do it. Ats.
That's the one you say.
Ass.
Yo, what the hell is that?
Ats.
I'm doing exactly the way you did it.
You gotta pronounce a Z.
Ass.
Ats. It's almost like ATS.
Forget about it, man.
Z.
Hey,
Unlimited.
Mike, can you do it?
I don't know. Ats.
So Ryan, AC Milan and is 9 points from Inter.
Ass.
That wasn't bad. I love it.
All right, very good. Good job.
You understood the meaning. You understood the
good.
meaning
Okay.
of what it meant.
Very good.
For all those that didn't know, go watch
Yeah,
it.
you need to watch
put in the comments.
Ludovico. I mean, the guy is really funny and is really good. He made me laugh.
Yeah, that was funny.
So yeah, go watch that and you'll understand. You'll understand what we're talking about. So
All
what,
right,
what
so-
else was on your mind besides Ludo?
What are we starting?
That's what I'm asking you.
Well, let's leave Milan against Napoli for later on. because there was a lot that that went on. You want to go for? You want to start with Juventus?
No.
Odds.
How about you want to start with Parma Roma? I think that was one of the biggest surprises of the weekend.
All right, let's start with Parma Roma. So usually, and that's what you told me the last time, Roma loses with all the top teams.
And now,
right? So now all of a sudden they're losing against Parma. This was a big loss for Roma because they're in the Champions League race, and losing yesterday, that's going to put them back. Even though Parma did play well, they had a good game. So good job by Parma. That's all I could say. And Roma, they better strain out, and because if they want to remain for the Champions League race, they got to play better than that.
Yeah, I feel like I was just surprised on this one. You think Parma, who crazy stat, this is their first win in 17 Serie A games. And then you think Roma would kind of steamroll over them. And they got a 2-0, pretty convincing win over Roma. Roma did not show up today. I just felt like Parma was kind of all over the field. And this game, they really cemented their foot. They're like, okay, we got to get some points. We don't want to go to Serie B. They're still in 19th place, but they got a huge win over here. Dzeko even played too. Dzeko played. We know Mkhitaryan is out for an injury. He's going to be out for, I believe, a month. So hopefully this is just a hiccup for Roma. We know, Roma on a regular day, I feel like 9 out of 10 times they would have beat Parma. But today, I guess Parma just got the better of them. And, Roma are still fighting for a top 4 finish. They're still very much up there. And we got to see if this was just a speed bump or maybe it's something more.
To go further into it, and I know I'm relaying some of the comments because you weren't here on the last live stream with Ludovico. The day that they lost, everyone was saying, "Where's Gaetano's boy? And does he still believe in Fonseca?" So what happened to Fonseca? Since you obviously have been a big advocate of Fonseca, then we could agree that Fonseca, we've seen some really great stuff. What's your response?
Yeah, and Fonseca. He was interviewed after the game, and he gave a lot of. He said that Parma played well, and then they interviewed by Roma channel, and on the Roma channel he complained about the penalty that there was. So I didn't like that. But when I looked at it again, it was a penalty. So if you're going to start complaining about penalties and things like that, I saw it a couple of times, and he didn't have to do the penalty. He could have just pushed him to the side or just put his body. I don't know if you remember the penalty, but he did hit him on the side, and
it
he did
smart.
him. No, it was not smart at all. The guy was going to the side. Just stay next to him,
contain him, and
let him go to the side. And why you put you put your whole body on his hip, and then with a foot he touched his leg.
But more so, besides that, you've been a big advocate for Fonseca. Has that changed? Do you still believe in Fonseca?
Well, let's see,
are you having doubts?
Let's see where they're standing. So Roma now is in 5th place, and they are 2 points from the Champions League. Yes, I still believe in Fonseca.
Okay,
good point. That's a good point. But you can't be losing games like that.
No,
you can't be losing to Parma. 19th place. It happens. But you're not beating any teams in the top 6. You can't be losing games like that either. So
yeah, it's a rough spell. We'll see what happens with Fonseca and with Roma. We know that they hopefully some glimmer of hope for the Roma fans out there. Mid-April, Zaniolo is expected to come back, or he's expected to start training again. I think that they could use you could use Zaniolo back into their team and back into that midfield. Let's move on, and I want to go to Inter against Torino. They extend their lead in a game that I was following on my score. I saw it was 1-1 at a certain point. Torino's goal, which we'll talk about, and then Inter with Lautaro Martinez, who all credit to him, the goal was brilliant. The header that Lautaro scored was fantastic. The way that he stayed in the air, the way that he angled it against a Parma, against a Torino, which I expected them to roll over. To be honest, to steamroll them, because Torino has shown how they are in the past. But again, just another bit just another aspect adding to Inter's league where they will not slip up. And in games that they probably would have dropped these points, they're showing themselves that they are a Scudetto winning team in these kinds of performances. And just to touch on the Torino goal, should not have counted. If you see the goal that Torino scored, it's a clear push, I believe, from Simone Zaza on Skriniar, who, if they would have checked the VAR, that would have been not counted as a goal. Because we've seen a goal taken away for much less than that, and you could clearly see it. If it was Zaza, pushes with his arms extended on Skriniar, which directly affects the play.
I mean, on that play, it was what a confusion. There were so many pushes and so many shoving, so that it was difficult to determine which one.
If they checked the replay, they wouldn't have been though.
Yeah.
If they checked the VAR.
Torino did play well. They had a good game. But this is where Conte comes in. Even though they were not playing their best game, he made the substitution. He brought in Sanchez. He brought in Eriksson. And Sanchez was the one that crossed the ball for Lautaro. Beautiful and cross. Eriksson, beautiful. I mean, and he also gave him power. Not only was beautiful, but he gave him power. And the goalkeeper was going one side, and he put it on the other corner. So he did a very good job. I mean, Conte, you got to say that what he did with Eriksson, what he did with Skriniar, and you have to give him some credit for that.
Not Eriksson. I don't give him credit for Eriksson. I think that it's bad what he did with Eriksson. It took him a year to get him involved.
Okay, but eventually he put him in.
I don't think it takes that much of a genius to get a great player in.
But eventually put him into the lineup and eventually incorporated him into the play.
We said that's where he should have been playing since the beginning.
Right, but it took him but now he realized it and he made the adjustment. So you got to give him a little credit that he made the adjustment to make him play.
For figuring it out. But I think it should have been an obvious one.
So Inter now has got, between the Lukaku and Lautaro, I think they have over 30 goals. They have about 32 goals. And they got the best offense. They got 65 goals. Almost the best defense. I think Juventus has got a better defense than they got about 26 goals against. And Juventus got 23 goals against. So 9 points.
34 goals between both of them.
Between Lukaku, Lautaro.
The best striking force in Serie A.
As much as we want to say, a lot of us have taken away from Lautaro, including me, but he's doing really good right now. In this moment, they're connecting. They're working really well together. Lukaku, again, getting on the score sheet. How many goals does he have total? Lukaku on his own?
Lukaku has 19 in
19
Serie A.
goals in Serie A. The man has turned into a beast.
Machine.
I mean, he is a machine that, even he was talking from the physical aspect. He said, going from Manchester United to going to Inter, he said, my body transformed. He's like, they put me on a strict diet where I was eating different things. I think he said more greens, or I don't remember what it was.
Salads.
He started eating fish. And he said, I feel like a monster. He's like, I feel lighter. I feel like I could run faster. And that aspect definitely helped him out. We know that Conte's training regimen is very serious, and it helped the guy who, in the past people call him fat. They say, oh, he's too big, he's too fat. Now he's just an animal because he's shredded, but he's so big that you can't knock him off the ball. So he's kind of got the best of both worlds.
And I said that to you guys, looking at Lukaku when he was playing for Manchester United, he was a big guy, big dude, but he didn't have that pace that he has now when he's at Inter. Yeah. I've never seen him look as good. He's thin, he's quick. His ball control has improved too a lot. I'm not going to deny that. At United, he didn't have a touch. Seemed to have found a touch now on the ball. So he's been impressive. Top 5 in the world for me right now at the moment.
I was just going to ask the question, but I did want to add too, for Lukaku, he's got everything. And I think that he set himself in the perfect environment. I know that this week there were rumors of Manchester City wanting him, other big clubs in Europe. And I think he would be absolutely insane to leave Inter because he found himself the perfect environment. While I agree that Lukaku is a very good player, it's also Inter and Conte that helped him become that player because the system of Inter is built for Lukaku.
100%.
And I don't think that he will leave. I think that he's a very intelligent man. Like, he's just an intelligent person. The way that he sacrifices himself for his teammates on the field, off the field. I really love Lukaku. I'm a huge fan. So I think he also realizes that. He's not one of those guys that gets ahead of himself where he's like, okay, I'm one of the best strikers in the world right now. I could just pack up and go somewhere else and leave a project. So it's also Inter's credit, and I will say Conte's credit rather than Inter's credit to why he's been so good. But it does raise a question, and Roberto Martinez, the coach of Belgium, said that Lukaku is the best striker in the world, And I don't know if it was him or somebody else that said he could win the Ballon d'Or this year. Considering that, well, it's not really fair to say Ronaldo and Messi are out of Champions League because also Lukaku is out of Champions League. Where do we stand on this? Number one, is Lukaku the best striker or best number 9 in the world? And could Lukaku, in some world, if Inter win the Scudetto, and let's say he wins the Capocannoniere, could he realistically win the Ballon d'Or?
Ballon d'Or? Absolutely not. For me, you have to be involved in the Champions League. That's just my opinion. I mean, there's guys that are ahead of him. Lewandowski's one of them. I think Lewandowski's probably the best striker in the world right now at the moment. Haaland, what he's been doing with Dortmund has been incredible. I've never seen a talent like him. You know, he reminds me so much of a young Ibrahimovic. Mm-hmm. But he's really he put his name out there. And then not to mention Mbappe is up there as well. Even though he has a solid team around him, you got to put Mbappe in that category. But they're playing Champions League football. Haaland's doing it in the Bundesliga and in the Champions League. So for me, it would be him over Lukaku.
That's a very good perspective too, because I think that what the good aspect is that the Champions League will help determine some of that. If PSG go on and win the Champions League, I mean, you could easily say that's going to be Mbappe. If Bayern go on to win again, then you could say it's Lewandowski.
Right, but let's not forget that we also have the European.
The Euros.
The Euro
Yeah.
this year.
Sure.
Okay, so if you help your team win the Euros this year,
Then they'll probably win.
Belgium's not going to win it.
If Belgium wins,
have a
Lukaku's
solid
definitely
team.
winning the.
Yeah.
If Belgium
I mean,
wins,
they have a
Lukaku's
solid
definitely
team.
winning the Ballon
they
d'Or.
have
It'll be
They
hard.
always have a solid team.
Yeah, I know. It'll
but
be hard.
I know.
It'll be very hard.
They
but
always
if it
have a solid
happens-
team. That's true. They have really good players, but they never can.
Yeah,
They can never
exactly.
put together. But if they ever put it together, and they do well in Europe, in the Euro, that could also influence the the Ballon d'Or.
No, absolutely. Yeah, it's a good perspective.
Wow, I just want to.
Maybe Immobile could win it. Score a bunch of goals in the Euros.
Gaetano, I had a question for you.
Mamma mia! How long he hasn't scored goals in Mobile?
If Bayern Munich wins the Champions League and Lewandowski is the top goal scorer in Champions League and they win Bundesliga, but Inter win the Scudetto and and Lukaku wins the Euros with Belgium, who deserves?
Oh man, that's not even close.
So you're saying 100% Lukaku?
Of course, if you win the
I just
Euro,
wanna see.
I mean, they win. Bayern wins every year.
No. I'm saying for Champions League.
Yes.
Champions League is what I'm not the Bundesliga. I meant the Champions League.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a big if though. Of Belgium winning
does
the
it change
Euros.
now?
No, I would still go for the Euro. I think it's
Okay.
it's
But Mike,
it's difficult
it's
to
more
win.
difficult.
It's not just a matter if they win the Euros.
No,
too. You want to
he's a
see
top
how
goal scorer.
Lukaku's
Yeah,
going to
right.
I said he's top goal scorer.
Yeah, of
But
course.
if they
He
did
was
somehow,
involved in the Champions League, but what did he do in the Champions League? So that goes to the same with the Euros. He could be involved in the Euros, but if he doesn't perform, does he really deserve
I
it?
said
but I guess
top goal
also
scorer.
if you're thinking Belgium's going to win the Euros,
Yeah.
they need Lukaku to be
Lukaku has to
performing.
No, yeah.
perform.
They're not going to win it without him.
That's why I said that.
But
Yeah, right.
either way, I think that we will also. That's actually a good differentiator, seeing how on form Lukaku is versus how he will do. I think you'll see the Conte effect of how he does at Inter right now, and see how he does with Belgium.
That's true.
Because they're good. They're good aspects.
That's
But for Inter, like you said, 9 points clear of AC Milan in second place, who Milan they ended up losing to Napoli. Is this the end for the Scudetto race? In your guys' opinion, I think that we've said this before. I don't know how you stop this Inter. I do not know how you stop this Inter. There's 12, 13 games left until the end of the season. Conte, one competition, 7 days to get his team focused. Inter, they're too close to fail, in my opinion.
This is interesting, and there's a lot of people saying this. I think Juve being eliminated out of the Champions League is the worst thing that could have happened to Inter, because now Juventus are so pissed off right now. I do think against Torino it was very close. They could have very well dropped points that game, and one moment of brilliance got them the goal. So I do think they matured in that way, because last season they probably would have got the draw. But like I said before, Juve just got to focus on that one competition. And I don't think Inter that perfect that they're not going to slip up. I do think they're going to slip up, and that's where I feel like Juve are going to pull closer. First of all, Juve is going to overtake Milan in second place, and the point at the end of the season, it's going to be within 1 or 2 points, whoever wins the Scudetto.
You took my follow-up question.
That's what I think.
From my perspective, what do you think?
Well, I think that for Milan, it's over. I mean, it's over for the Scudetto.
Yeah, for the
Yeah, they're 9 points away. I mean, Juventus, if they win against Napoli, they will be 7 points from the top. So I think it's more they have to be scared more of Juventus than AC Milan. AC Milan hasn't won a game in 2021 in San Siro. Can you believe that?
Is that true?
Yeah, they lost to Juve, Inter, Atalanta, and Napoli.
Very tough teams, though.
Add Man U to that list on Thursday.
No.
So
Do not add it.
So this AC Milan, it's they're going through a rough period. I understand they have some, they have people that are missing, but every team has got they struggling with COVID. They struggle with people with players that've been hurt. So it's not just AC Milan. They all have done that. Going back to the game. Is it AC Milan? Are they tired mentally? Are they tired physically? Because Kessie, who's been very, very good and who was one of the best players against Man United,
I like him.
He didn't show up. I mean, Kessie didn't show up. Castillejo didn't show up. Tonali didn't show up. Çalhanoğlu didn't show up. I mean, these guys, where were they? So are they maybe because they started the pre-season with the European League? Maybe that now they're getting a little bit tired. Maybe they're playing too much. I don't know. Going back to the game, Koulibaly, what a game. I mean, the guy really played good. He was all over the place. Tomori, you asked me about Tomori the last time, and I said I haven't seen him.
Your opinion on him?
Yeah, the guy's a good player.
Your opinion now?
Yeah, he's a good player.
He's amazing.
Yeah,
he did so well.
He did well
I'm paying attention since you mentioned it to me, and the guy's good.
Why are you looking at Mike that he told you? Come on, I told you.
I told him.
Don't give him the
told
pound.
all of you.
Don't give him the pound. Yeah.
Hold on. Didn't I tell all of you?
That's actually.
Didn't
wait
I
a
tell
second.
all of you?
I like to give credit on this channel. Ryan actually did say that he was very good before. We asked you his opinion. You did. It's
When
the
he
first
first
time you've been
showed up,
right.
That's true.
Man.
You wanted the credit. You were so annoyed.
I know what I'm talking about all the time. So
That's not too
What else?
So there were some controversial calls. So one was on Theo, which he was right outside. No, it was on the edge of the area, and he was touched by one of the players from behind, and he threw himself on the ground. It was touched by, but I don't think it was a penalty.
This is the one that they checked VAR on.
This is the one that they checked the VAR, and because the referee was in a position that he didn't see it. So I think the VAR called him, and then he went to look at it. I don't know. I don't think it was a penalty. There was not that much of a contact there. So I think that. But there was another call that Theo was involved a few minutes later where Osimhen was going down the line and he went in really.
He knocked him out.
He got a yellow. He got a
yellow.
Yeah.
He went in really hard,
not a red, though.
and he was not going for the ball.
Yeah, but it's not enough
it
for
was
a
a
red.
You
real.
think it's a red?
I don't think it's enough.
Hey, it's close.
Orange.
But I think it's a yellow.
It's
Yeah,
close to being a
standard
red.
We were scared for a second, but then I think that he gave the correct call on a yellow. To touch on the penalty, I think that I know a lot of Milan fans are very mad that it wasn't a penalty, and I think that in the football that we live in 2021, anything could be given as penalties these days. Any slight form of contact we've seen given. Personally, I do agree. I think that there was contact. I could tell in live time that there was contact. For me, these are very soft. They're not penalty kicks, but I do understand how you can think that it is because nowadays, like I said, a little touch and sometimes a referee will give it. This referee was clearly the entire match. I mean, he didn't pull out a yellow card until like the first 50 challenges. Yeah. He was not pulling out a card at all. So I think that he was always going to let a lot of rough plays go. So he was consistent in that end. One thing I will say about Milan too, just to touch on the Scudetto talk, I think this was the game that Milan, the dream of the Scudetto dies. I think it's too many games now in a row. But what I will say is that does not mean failure at all. Milan overachieved. They did way more than they were expected to do this season. So it is taking 0 away. In fact, they did so well that they set the bar at a point where it was almost impossible for them to continue that with the squad depth that they have. They have not spent or have the squad that Inter and Juventus do. So it's taking nothing away. The goal, the North Star for Milan is Champions League, and they are still en route to get Champions League. If they get Champions League, if you give it, it's a success. It's a check mark. Going and winning the Scudetto would have just been ridiculous. It's something unexplainable. So for Milan fans, I do think it's over. Fair enough. But what I'll say is that it's still not a damper on your season at all.
No, I agree with that. I think if they make the Champions League, I think that's the accomplishment for the season, and it's a very good accomplishment from where they started and from where they were last year. One last thing on Gattuso. I think that Gattuso is doing a very good job. I hope that at the end of the season that he will stay. But it is very difficult to work with that president. But I like Gattuso. I like the work that he's doing in Napoli. I hope it doesn't run away like Ancelotti.
Right. I agree. I just want to say something before we get off the subject. Well, if you're gonna finish it, I just want to say
a quick word about the Scudetto talk. As you said, Marco, Milan, they did somewhat overachieve.
He's about to say something bad.
No.
I can already tell.
They did somewhat. They overachieved. They
set the bar high.
They did. You guys are making me laugh right now.
Because I know something's lining up. I can tell Ryan. You were smiling from before.
All credit to them. They played well. 2020, 2021, everything went downhill. If I'm a Milan fan right now, my only concern is if they can stay in the top 4. Because performances, the way they're going, it may not happen.
They have to be careful.
Right. They have to be very cautious. And as you said, Roma 2 points right out of the top 4. I don't know how far they are behind Milan, but it's pretty tight. That race is pretty tight right now for the Champions League. I think Inter had won the Scudetto. I said that 2 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago. Whenever they beat Milan 3-0, that was it. I think that was the game changer. That game changed the whole thing. So Inter, I think Inter is safe to call that they've won the Scudetto.
It's 100% Inter Scudetto to lose.
Yeah.
Let's just say that. Right. Inter has to screw up big time to be able to lose the Scudetto. They're completely in the driver's seat.
And now Ryan opened up the red carpet for me because what he said, I wanted to kind of hint back at, because the title I added was asking, will Milan even secure a top 4 finish?
I say
now,
yes.
People
yes.
might go crazy. Let me just go over the table and what's going on. So we see, I just want to play around because I was like, wow, this could get dangerous fast for Milan.
Explain.
Because right now, Milan sit in 2nd place, but if Juventus win their game in hand, they would jump them over 2 points ahead of them, and then Milan would sit in 3rd place, and then Atalanta would just be 4 points away from them, with Napoli in 5th place that also have a game in hand, and if they win that game, it would only be 3 points away.
Can I give some perspective, though?
Well, yeah, the perspective is
that
Juventus. Which one?
No. Is that Milan's also going through a rough period right now?
Yeah, that's
so
true.
We're judging Milan based off of missing a lot of players.
We are.
They're not the same team without Benacer. They're not the same team without Zlatan
100%.
Ibrahimovic. With those guys missing, Leao is not a striker. I keep saying Leao is a number 9. I don't like him. I like him on the wing.
Yeah.
So they're playing out of that form. So we can't necessarily just see their past couple games and say that that's how they're going to continue going. Because I think when they get those guys back, they will bounce back and be able to secure that.
I do agree with you at a point, but 2021, like how Ryan hinted at before, was horrendous for them. 2020 was incredible first half of the season. Now they don't seem like the same team that has been
because
grinding out those results. Even when they had Zlatan, even for some games they did have Benacer. I do agree that there were a lot of injuries, a lot of suspensions and stuff like that did tinker with their results. But at the end of the day, they do not look like the same team. And that's the question for me. I want to ask the people in the comments that now everyone's jumping on my throat. I was just asking,
Mike, the Milan fan, is completely gone.
No, I'm a Milan fan, but I'm just saying
you're a Milan fan.
It's a valid point.
They're in a weird position right now where there's like, I'm kind of on the fence. Right. They didn't secure top 4 like Inter, like Juventus.
It's valid. It's valid, but it's also a little bit skewed because you can't just look at the numbers.
That's true, but it's something to think about in the back of your mind.
Look at Milan right now, the Milan that you're seeing right now at this moment. They look like they lost their hunger.
But
they look
it's
like
not the real Milan right now.
Yeah, but Marco, every team, I understand there's injuries, COVID, but every goddamn team's going through it.
And it's a bad moment for them right now. Like, Inter dealt with it, I think, a little bit in the beginning. Juve dealt with it. It's just Milan's time to deal with that a little bit more. That's what I think.
Happened, but you know what? It's how you deal with it.
I think they will bounce back. I think they will.
But for all the AC Milan fans, the best thing that happened to AC Milan was the great performance that they did against the Man United. Yeah. I mean, we got to admit that they did perform well, and you were surprised about that game.
I was.
Okay, you thought that
But then again,
you thought that Man United was going to win 2-3 now.
5-0.
No, hold on.
2-3 now.
5-0.
So
Hold on.
the best thing.
videos.
Okay, I'll let you. But the best thing going for AC Milan is going through with Man United.
There's an if there, right?
0-0 or 1-0 for AC Milan, and they go through.
Listen,
0-0,
as Mike
right.
said, as you said, actually, they haven't even won a game at the San Siro in 2021.
Right.
There has to win sometimes.
Manchester United, hold on. Manchester United are
come the
22 games unbeaten away at the moment. So
You're going to lose eventually.
Manchester United's form right now is very hot away. We're gaining Rashford back for the match. Cavani is likely to be back. These are the guys that we're missing. Van de Beek could be back to bring him off the bench. He, obviously he hasn't been starting. Pogba is very likely to be back, and Martial will be fit.
All those guys?
It looks like we're going to have our full squad heading to the San Siro. You're talking about a much different game coming on.
Also,
Same thing for
same
Milan
thing.
also.
Zlatan is likely to be back. At this point, it's something like Zlatan.
And on top of that, we got Theo and Hakan that are definitely going to be in the lineup because they started last game. And Rebic also is a huge factor. So that's 4 players right there. Hopefully, Zlatan is going to be there to start, but most likely off the bench. And maybe
Give me Benacer and I feel a little bit better.
Benacer is most likely not going to make the
Listen,
trip.
I mean, at the end of the day, I want to see an exciting game. I want to see another thriller. I was shocked. What helped Milan kind of hang on in there right now at the moment was that 90th minute away goal. That was very vital for them. They needed that away goal going back to the San Siro because now the pressure's on Man U. Man U have to come out and get a goal real quick.
And if they do, they're also going to expose themselves, and that's where, at a moment where Milan could look as they're going forward, that they could attack them. I think Kessie did an incredible job too. I mean, top player. A player that I never really believed in fully. I always thought he lacked something. This year, he's been 360 degrees, sure. Amazing, along with a lot of good players for Milan, like Theo. I was watching him against Napoli. I said, this player is unbelievable. He's everywhere on the pitch.
Quick question: Is it Theo or Teo? I see people saying it differently.
We hear
I don't
Theo.
know if it's.
Yeah, I don't know.
Theo.
I don't know.
I think in Italians they say Theo Hernandez.
Yeah.
Probably in Italian is Theo, and
Theo.
in English is Theo.
Theo, whatever it is.
Whatever, he's a beast.
He's a good player. Good player.
I don't know if you saw these videos. I know you did, and you were there. We did a photo shoot with Antonio on Friday in Brooklyn, and because we made him new merch, it's gonna be Antonio merch. It's like, we're not dead yet. His big famous saying, which AC Milan started using. I swear to you, on social media, check their posts. They started saying like, we're not dead, we're still alive. They started saying this stuff. I'm not saying that they got it from there, but I'm not saying that they did it.
Regardless, just in case.
and as Antonio pulled out the Milan scarf. He pulled out a Milan scarf that he wanted to take pictures with. Yeah. One guy running by screams, "Man United deserve to win." Antonio lost his mind.
He said, "You watch our channel."
He gave the guy the finger. He called him a lot of bad names.
He was like,
very classy, right? Very classy from a Milan fan.
And then the guy kept running, and then when he came back, Antonio was trying to grab him. He tried to pull him over. Then, as we continued, 2 girls ran by that were Man United fans too, and they stopped. They stopped and talked to Antonio, but they were saying they're like, "Oh, it was a handball. You got really lucky with the goal and all this stuff." So Antonio was in his element. It just shows, like, even outside of the podcast, the guy's just naturally just screaming. We were lucky enough to get it on video.
Yeah. Naturally crazy,
but not for nothing. I'd be ashamed if I'm arguing with 2 Milan fans that happen to be women. I'd be ashamed of myself.
Why? What's that?
Why are you arguing with women?
He's arguing about culture.
Don't make excuses for the guy, man. But he can't.
He does it with everybody.
But he can't come sit next to me. Can't come sit next to me. That's
to be fair, the guy said he does watch it, but he's like, "I love you guys, but Manchester United should have won." So
really?
He said it. He's like, "I watch you
guys."
Yeah, he watch your stuff.
Listen,
I was trying to record.
Yeah. I'm excited for Thursday.
It's gonna be good.
I think it's gonna be a good game. As you said, Mike, Milan is expecting players back. Man U's expecting more than likely a full squad back. So
predictions?
you're gonna see.
Let's do the prediction right now. Let's do the prediction right now. I'm saying AC Milan go through. I'm not giving a score. I'm not giving AC Milan will go through.
I'm going with United. So
I think so. I think AC Milan will go through.
There we go.
I think it's gonna be a 0-0 draw.
So?
And Milan progress. Ryan, I'm sorry for your
Ryan.
expense.
Ryan, at this moment, he's checking the time. He's gonna record this video, and he's ready just in case. He's gonna wait for full time and send it to everybody.
He's gonna waste that time for nothing.
It's okay. Let's see.
We'll talk about the rest of the games.
May the best team win.
Let's touch on Napoli a little bit. If anybody has anything else to say, I know you did. The one thing I wanted to say about Insigne has stepped up. I think he's done a lot better than he was doing in the past. And Politano is phenomenal on his game. He's really looked super superb. He did a great job on the goal, beating his man. He seems to almost never lose the ball at times. I really like the form that he's showing. at Napoli.
I want to say something about Gattuso that I've said for a few weeks now. I think the criticism that he's been getting over the past few weeks or a month, for that matter, it's been pretty harsh. The guy needs support. He needs a backing from the club, from the director, from the owner. You can't criticize the guy. I mean, he beat Juve. He beat Milan. He's winning games against top 6 clubs right now at the moment. He's right there in the race for top 4. So you're criticizing him, saying the guy should be fired, the guy's got to leave, he should resign, whatever the case is. It's not true. I think the guy needs to end the season, hopefully get into Champions League, but he needs support from the club. It's a must.
Yeah, I agree with that. And they need to get back Mertens and Osimhen. You know, they had a bad streak with the two of them. Hopefully they could come back and score some goals.
Yeah. Anything else from you, Mike?
I was just saying, I do agree with Ryan on that point. I feel like Gattuso's always in the paper for the negative reasons. In reality, he's 5th place with a game in hand. So if he wins this game against Juventus, which he's done before, he's in a Champions League spot. He also said this in the press, like, you guys make it seem like I'm fighting to stay in Serie A. But in reality, this is the scenario that's going on. Plus all the players they lost to COVID, all the injuries they had. They had a very unlucky season, and Gattuso has really salvaged this. So I find it really disrespectful with a lot of people saying, "Oh, who should Napoli get as their next coach?" I was like, "What's wrong with they had a bad season in terms of being unlucky."
You were the one who wanted him fired.
I did want him fired, but there's a lot of press that he wanted.
I was just joking
it.
about that.
No, in the beginning I wanted him fired, but then if you look at the results, be like, man, why should he give almost same reason why Fonseca? I was like, why are you gonna badmouth Fonseca? At the end of the day, look what he's pulling with these players. They're fighting for a top 4, and you guys are making.
We're used to it. That's why we're used to. We're so used to being like stingy with like, all right,
That's
just
true.
sack the coach because it happens so much in Serie A especially.
Yeah.
Where it's like, all right, a couple bad games, well, the guy's sacked.
That's a mentality too. I feel
Instead,
like
instead of Cagliari, keep Di Francesco. A little bit of a different approach. We'll talk about Cagliari. They lost 3-1 to Juventus. Ronaldo hat trick. Looking for the haters. The exact response that I expected. I think I predicted 3-0 against the Cagliari, who's on the very low end, who risks relegation. But Juventus look good. They had the fire. Ronaldo scoring 3 goals again. How many goals does he have right now? I know 23 goals, and that's 30 goals in 33 games this season. So to all the people out there who think that they're very smart in saying Ronaldo's a problem. He didn't show up one game against Porto. He's the problem. 30 goals in 33 games. Don't come at me with financial statements, balance sheets. No.
profits and loss.
What player is Juventus going to sign that's going to score 30 goals in 33 games? It's not Ronaldo. That's the problem. Ronaldo's been phenomenal, and he can't always perform. Do I agree that against Porto he did not show up? I agree. Do I agree that he can't do everything on his own? He can't. No player in the world. We've never seen a player in football who's every single game been on, no matter who you want. The best in the world. Michael Jordan has had games that were off. Guess what? It's the way it goes. You also need support from your team. So just a little bit of that, and I know the rumors that, maybe Juventus is going to sell him, maybe he's going to go back to Real Madrid. The one thing I'll say about that, I could see Ronaldo leaving Juve. I think a lot of it will be, let's have a meeting with the management, with the team. What are the plans going forward? Is this a rebuild? Are we going to be able to sign some certain players? Is the project to really seriously fight for that? If it is, then I think Ronaldo stays. And if it's not, I think that he would try to move on. I think it's a difficult market for $30 million a year salary to go anywhere in the world. It's going to be difficult. But I think it will come down to the motivation. I think that he's still happy in Torino. I don't think any of that. But I think he needs to understand the project. Do you think Ronaldo's the problem at Juve?
Not at all. He's not a one-man show. You need to have. This is the same situation at Napoli right now. He needs support. Juve's midfield has been an issue for the past couple of years, and they've been. Don't take this personal at all, but they've been very cheap. They don't want to spend. They look for cheap ways out just to fix the issue temporarily. They don't think long term.
A Band-Aid.
Right. So and that's the issue right now. And Kulusevski, he's young, he's decent, but I don't think he's helping out up top. Caicedo's been great signing. That's the only thing that Juve probably did right so far with Caicedo, in my opinion. But they need a lot more. That midfield, I would get rid of everybody except McKennie and Artur. I would get rid of the entire midfield, and then you got to bring in new players.
Thoughts? I haven't heard your...
No, Ronaldo is definitely not the problem. Are you kidding me? You got somebody that scores 30 goals and you want to get rid of him. Who are you going to get? What Ronaldo needs is a couple of midfielders. So what you need to do is get rid of Ramsey, get rid of Rabiot. I mean, what do they make? 15 million between the two of them together? 15 million. The guy makes...
7.5.
Ramsey makes 7.5 million euros a year. I mean, it's not... so get rid of, like you said, I agree with you. Get rid of the 2-3 midfielders. Get them the midfielders that you need to for him. And next year, you can win the Champions League. I think you could win the Champions League. Going back to the game, it was a good reaction by Juve after the performance against Porto. So they came back. They were hungry. They were score. Ronaldo, he was pumped up. He wanted to score, but we do need to mention that on that 14th minute that Ronaldo went in with a very high foot up in the air, and he could have really hurt the goalkeeper. That should have been looked at in the VAR.
Should have been a red card.
Yeah,
I think that was a red card.
I think we're all on the same
his
page.
His cleat was. If you check the replay too, Cragno, credit to Cragno, he put his whole body into that, and he really took like a hard hit, and they didn't check the VAR on it.
But to be honest, if they looked it over, realistically, that should have been a red card because you really put him at risk. You're not supposed to put your studs that high up, regardless of what happens. But there
was no intention there. He was trying to go for the ball, but you cannot raise that foot and you're going against the goalkeeper. You can't.
You should definitely know that. And moving on from there, because there's a lot of comments on that. I was gonna address that if Gaetano didn't, but we all think that's a red card. But the Ronaldo situation, Ronaldo to me, he isn't a person that would run away from a challenge. That's why I feel like if the project is serious, I really think Juventus is going to spend a lot of money next season and bank on the final season of Ronaldo, really banking on going all in for a Champions League trophy, whether that is Pirlo getting sacked, whether that is selling 4 or 5 high-earning salary players for Juventus and bringing a capable squad to finish almost a goodbye for Ronaldo, being like, this will be maybe your last European squad to go for a title. Because I feel like even Agnelli, the only person that wants a Champions League trophy more than Ronaldo is Agnelli, and I think Agnelli would open his pockets big enough for this.
It's not totally on him though.
Not totally on him.
The financial, it's tough. It's a very tough situation. So you can't just go. It's not a normal year where you could go out and spend 100%. A lot of money.
But something like this on the last season, and if Ronaldo threatens being like, "Listen, if you guys aren't serious this year, I don't want to waste another year when I could be going to Manchester City,
that's the conversation.
PSG, or something like that."
That's the conversation.
So to me, honestly, I think Ronaldo's gonna stay for a season. I think Juventus is gonna spend, and I think they're gonna go all out on Champions League.
A little bit beyond that though, Ludovico. We had this conversation. Ludovico thinks that Ronaldo's the problem at Juve. He thinks that they're too reliant on him. He thinks that he's not helping the rest of the team. He thinks that they should build on a younger squad. I completely disagree. And I think that also for Kulusevski, I feel bad for Kulusevski. I do. Because Kulusevski, he came in the beginning. He did really well on the wing. I mean, he was like one of the best players. We were saying how good of a buy he was. Now he's had to adapt to play as a number 9, which he's not a number 9. He's simply not. He's sacrificing himself to play in a position that's not natural to him. I want to see him play as a Mezzala. I want to see, can he play as a Mezzala in the midfield, almost like a De Bruyne type player who shifts his position because he's very talented. The kid's 20 years old. We can't be these kind of people that come out, okay, a 20-year-old kid who moved from Parma to Juventus, did really good for a couple months, now he's done bad for a couple months, he's a waste, sell him. No. That's not the way it could work. The kid is strong. The kid, I think, has a big future ahead of him. Let's show him some time, allow him to do this. And also, part of why Kulusevski's not playing is because Chiesa has been phenomenal. They're very similar in the position that they play. There's not that much room to play both of them. So it's also, Chiesa's been sensational. So it's hard when you've got that guy in front of him. And so I don't take away too much to Kulusevski. I don't agree with selling him.
Marco, I didn't say anything about selling Kulu.
I meant for some people that I've heard.
What I will say about Kulu, yes, I completely agree with you. You got to give the kid time. The kid deserves time. But the problem here is Ronaldo needs to win now. You can't win. Exactly. He's not going to be around in the future.
You have to have a balance of it.
So you need a guy that's going to come in and win now. Kulu's not going to win you a trophy now. You know? Yes, you keep him. You give him time. He deserves time. He's young. Potential's there, but...
What were you going to say?
No, I was going to say, can you imagine a 4-2-3-1 with you get the two midfielders that you still have to get in front of the defense, right? Two great midfielders. And the three up front, there would be Chiesa, Dybala, and Kulusevski. And Ronaldo.
That's what we want.
And Ronaldo up front. Who's going to stop them? Who's going to stop them?
I want to ask you a question, Catano. And who would be those two midfielders that you would buy?
Well,
that's $1 million question.
That you got to go and get two really great midfielders for that position. I mean, there's a few of them that I like, but you have to go shopping. Mm-hmm. But you go and get rid of, like you said, to me, get rid of Rabiot, get rid of Betancourt, get rid of Ramsey. Get all that money and spend it in midfielders. Who's a great midfielder? I think Milankovic is a great midfielder. Yes. You want to get rid of Pogba or no?
I don't want to get rid of him. But I don't know if he wants to stay now. That's the problem.
I don't know. There's 2-3 good midfielders that I have in mind, but they get that's their job. Go and get those midfielders that you need.
To wrap up on Juventus, Pirlo has been somebody that a lot of fans have questioned if it's Pirlo. The fan base is divided between keep Pirlo and sell Pirlo, sack or keep. In my opinion, it's not Pirlo's fault at all. I think that everybody's expectations were a little bit too crazy. We had Antonio on here who the day that he signed said that he'll win the Champions League as a coach, and the guy's never coached before. You put him inside a team that doesn't fit the best of his qualities. You put him inside a team that's difficult to work with, that also, if you just check history, Ajax, they went out against Ajax, they went out against Lyon, and now they went out against Porto. It's 3 different coaches. So I don't think you should look at the coach. I think that you need to give the guy time. If you expected to go very far in the Champions League, it's your expectations that were poor. Do I agree that Pirlo could do things better? Absolutely, yes. Do I think that he should be able to adapt sometimes his formation better and not stick to just a 3-5-2 and play players out of position? Absolutely, yes. But how many times are you just going to keep flipping coaches? Number one, what coach are you going to get? Number two, when does it end where you're going to get a new coach every year? You have to have some sort of stability. If you committed to the Pirlo project, you had to have committed to the possibility or the likelihood that you were not going to win this year. So it shouldn't be that you just get knocked out and you think, okay, now we're going to lose it. We're going to sack him.
Marco, I have a question for you. This is a daring question. Zidane gets sacked by Real Madrid.
No.
Ronaldo wants Zidane.
No.
At Juventus.
No.
Are you going to give him that?
No.
Why not? Why not?
I already explained why you keep Pirlo.
And if Ronaldo says, I want Zidane, I want to win the Champions League, and I don't think Pirlo could do that.
I'm not going to do dream scenarios where we make up this, because then I'm going to put myself in a weird position. I'm saying that Pirlo should stay.
So I criticized Pirlo because I said from the beginning that he didn't have the experience, even though against Porto, it was not entirely Pirlo's fault. I mean, Betancourt in the first game. I mean,
four mistakes.
You cannot do that. And then Demiral on the second game, that's the penalty. Come on, you a person with experience, you don't do those kind of mistakes. Just stand behind the guy. You're inside, you contain the guy. I mean, the guy would have never scored. And to be honest, he did win the game, the second game, and it was only for one away goal, which right now it's not fair, because away or home doesn't make that much difference. There's no fans, so this away goal, it really hurts.
And away goal in extra time too.
Right, but where when I said that Pirlo does not have any experience, and I said that he could have won the Scudetto but not the Champions League, there are some things where he does not have the experience, because I saw a documentary of All or Nothing, and that was the Brazilian national team, where the coach spent an entire session on the wall, and he said and yelling at all his players, he says, you only get on the wall if you got the courage to get hit in the face with the ball, otherwise do not get on the wall. And he went to each one of them and he pointed, if you guys got a chance, there was a hole, and he pointed all of them. So if you're a coach and you're practicing the free kicks and you know that the guy is going to jump up, then you got to put somebody underneath. Mm-hmm. And you cannot have somebody turned around. Then you're in practice. And I'm sorry, at that level, and that you need to practice the wall, and you need to know the details, who you put on the wall. You need to know that, and that one is lack of experience of Pirlo. That's what I was talking
Great point.
from the beginning.
What's this called?
Yeah,
It's all or nothing.
It's all or nothing.
It's all or nothing,
Really?
and it's the Brazilian national team.
The first team.
The first team.
The Brazilian national team.
I
The
didn't know
Brazilian
about
national
this.
team.
Why did I hear about this?
There's
Look it
Neymar.
up.
There's
I feel like it's not
Neymar
all or
there,
nothing.
and Neymar got hurt.
So from Confederations Cup or whatever it was.
No, the Copa
America. Yeah.
He got hurt just before. So
Oh wow, it's a thing.
It's all or nothing.
All or nothing Brazil national
Whoa,
team.
I never even heard about it.
I thought there was only two from the Spurs and Man City.
I mean, the guy.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
The coach. You know, he.
Send me the link.
The coach before the game, the whole holding hands. You know, he goes.
Yeah, put that. I gotta watch this now.
He goes. You know, he has the
mate.
No, not the mate. The little thing with the. He goes and prays to the Madonna candle. He got a candle right up there.
Really?
He goes over.
Who's the coach?
And then
Who's the coach?
you know they. No. Tati, something.
Just checking.
Yeah. So then the whole.
You should say it in all or nothing.
The all dance before the game. They all pray before they start of the game. Tita. They all pray.
Yeah,
I mean, and then he goes. You know, courage. Okay.
I gotta watch this.
You know, all of them, each one of them. He holds their hands. Each one of them. Courage. It's good. It's good. I like
definitely got to see that.
That is a great point.
Not the whole thing is not as good maybe as Man City or Tottenham, but there are some
certain aspects,
certain parts.
Gotcha.
It's
worth it just for those.
When
moments.
you were saying the courage part, I felt like I was in a World Cup final about to go in extra time. The way you said it was like, you better have courage, each one of you, if you want to go on the wall. I felt that.
Let's move on. Any other games that we have to talk about that we missed? I feel like we pretty much covered everything. We could say about. Do you have anything on your notes?
I mean, Bologna, Sampdoria. Quagliarella scored another goal, so good job by Quagliarella. Sampdoria had 20 shots on goal, and something which they reported, and I would have liked Poli to be here, but maybe the next time you're here, you can bring it up with Poli. Marvin Haggler died this weekend. Great fighter. You know, Poli would know more details.
Del Piero posted about him too.
Yeah, and the guy was a Sampdoria fan.
Really?
Yeah, and you know why?
This. No.
Because of the colors of Sampdoria. By the way, for all the Sampdoria fans, you guys got the best shirt. To me, Sampdoria is the best shirt.
They're constantly voted as like the number one shirt in the
I
world.
love that shirt. And the number 2 is because Sampdoria was the underdogs. And now
interesting.
You have something with Campobasso. Campobasso are beautiful colors and they're the underdogs. So there is a correlation there, which I think it would be nice. I love the colors of Campobasso too. So it would be, for me, it would be Sampdoria number 1, Campobasso right now. But I don't know too much yet.
All right, fair enough. Okay. Any other games that you got to run through?
Lazio Crotone, Caicedo, another goal. At the end, I mean, this guy, he puts him in, and the guy scores all the time. And
at the end,
85 plus. That's
the guy scored
score.
8 goals already. 8 goals. Immobile, he came by a goal. This guy hasn't scored in 9 games. Atalanta Spezia 3-1. Muriel, what a goal! Did you see? Oh my God, Muriel, another goal, so beautiful goal. I can't believe this guy. Sassuolo Verona 3-2 for Sassuolo. Verona,
it's a crazy game.
Verona played well. You know, they tied the game 2 times, but to come through at the end of Sassuolo, I mean, Sassuolo is doing very well. They're
very back and forth too.
You know, they're fighting for European League. You know, they're right there.
And Sassuolo is higher than Verona. I feel like we praise Verona so much, but then we said Sassuolo fell off a little bit.
You know, you would think that's right.
Yeah,
but at the same time, I think we also praise Verona because of where they came from compared to Sassuolo.
What do you mean
I think Sassuolo we knew as a foregone conclusion. Verona is a Serie B team that, comes up, and I think that they are overachieving in that sense. Like Sassuolo has been a team that's been in the Europa League in the past, years. They were in Europa League, so we kind of expected that. Verona's more impressive because how many times do we see a team come from Serie B and start doing so well?
And they give the big teams a lot of problems.
Yep.
So. And then we have 2 more games, the Benevento-Fiorentina games. Fiorentina finally, wins a game.
Your boy scored.
And Vlahovic he scored 3 goals. 3 goals. And we probably have to check this, or you can check on. Everybody can check it when they want. But of everybody born after the year 2000, I think Vlahovic is one of the top 3.
2 others, yeah.
Top 3.
We have the stat, no?
Yeah, top 3 in Europe. I guess the guy from Dortmund, Haaland is number 1, and maybe I think Vlahovic is so good job by Vlahovic.
And also, I just want to add for Vlahovic, he already doubled his Serie A goal mark from last season with less games. So he really sprouted into this.
Chiesa leaving.
With Chiesa leaving, maybe that was opening. And Gaetano was actually saying this a couple seasons ago. It was like, wow, check out this guy Vlahovic in training. He's scoring all the goals.
I was with Fiorentina for 2 weeks.
You said that he was terrible.
No, that's not what I said. I saw him training every day. He was the hardest one to train. He always trained at 100%. He never stopped running.
You said he never missed a shot.
And it was like unbelievable. The guy took shots from everywhere and always on goal. I couldn't believe, when they practice, they take the shots one over there. When the guy, every time he shot, he was on goal.
Impressive.
Yeah, I remember you said that.
And the last game was Genoa Udinese, 1-1. There was a goal that Pandev scored, and the referee disallowed. This referee was the first time that he was in Serie A. And then he went to the VAR. He called a handball. Then he went to the VAR, and he realized he touched it with his chest, so it was a goal. So I thought it was... it was a little bit, he could, if you didn't see that he touched it with his hand, allow the goal, right? And then if you were not sure, you could have gone and checked. Yeah. But he disallowed the goal.
And then checked, right?
And then he went to check. But they said it was his first game in Serie A. But at the end, what is good is that he got the right call. Gotcha. That's the most important thing.
So maybe you said it's his first in Serie A.
Yeah.
Maybe we need some fresh blood from some referees who have new ideas and who aren't as
stubborn,
hard-headed.
Good point.
Maybe that's something that we need, because I think that the VAR. I think everybody's getting fed up at this point with the different various calls that are not being able to go check. So maybe we need some younger referees. 2 more points of business. We got to predict the Champions League. Before, let's talk about Campobasso. They won again, 1-0 in the 86th minute to get the winner. They have a big string that's coming up. They currently sit in 4th place. First place with 4 points.
Yeah, there we go.
First place with 4 points. The 1 and the 4. And I believe they have 14 games left until the final. We're hoping they're still on a good trajectory to get that Serie C. It's in the horizon.
To automatically qualify. If they make first place, automatically qualify. Or if they fall under, then they go into playoffs.
We're very excited. By the way, you guys know that we're working with Campobasso. We're already in the talks. We're working on the documentary, which is going to be very exciting. We're going to have a pilot coming in May. That's going to be amazing, where we follow along the journey, kind of like All or Nothing. We're going to do that with Campobasso.
Those things are great.
They're so good.
The All or Nothing. Oh, man, I enjoy when they go inside the locker room
and you're part of it,
and you hear what they're. That's to me. That's the most important. Is when the coach talks to the player and you listen to what the coach is saying. I mean, I would love to be in the locker rooms of all the big coaches, the ones that really make a difference, and listen.
Imagine 2006 World Cup locker room. Imagine being there.
And you hear what they say.
And I would argue that even Campobasso's story is even better than some of the teams that they do these documentary series on, because that uprising is so important. Yeah. So if they do, by the way, as the season's going on, IFTV will be in Campobasso for the promotion party. If we get to that point, we'll be flying out to Campobasso, showing everybody, going live, doing all this kind of fun stuff with that for Campobasso. So Forza Campobasso, hopefully they're able to keep up this momentum. The next few games they're playing against the top teams, so that will really determine the outcome of how their season goes. So we're hoping for the best. Atalanta against Real Madrid. Atalanta's currently 1-0 down. There's a lot of fight, a lot of venom in Atalanta. We've said they are fighters. We'll be live for this match. Predictions for this game. Who wants to start off?
I'll start it off. I think Atalanta have a lot to prove, especially they were robbed the first leg. They were down a man. They got a red card with Freuler, and I feel like they're going to be like, okay, they want to play hardball.
What's the score,
let's
Mike?
show them. Let's show them who Atalanta. Let's show them where Bergamo is.
Score.
I think Atalanta is going to win 2-0. They're going to progress. They're going to score the second goal, so they progress in like the 88th minute, and it's going to be a huge celebration. And I see it in my dreams already. Forza Dea, Forza Atalanta. We can't wait for you guys.
You want to go first? You want to?
No, look at that. Go first.
I love.
You want me to go?
It doesn't matter to me.
Go ahead, Gaetano.
I love Atalanta. I love Gasperini. I love everything that the guy's got courage. You know, you have to have and I love the way he goes into the games. But I'm sorry.
What's wrong?
No. Real Madrid, they don't lose these games. You're playing with, they're getting Benzema back and they got all the players back. Real Madrid will not lose this game. But all my heart and all my energy, and when I will watch the game, it's going to be Forza Atalanta. I believe in miracles.
It will take a lot.
Apparently not this game.
It will take a lot. I think that Atalanta have a venom inside them. I think that they feel like they got screwed in the first game. I think that they felt like they more should have happened. And Atalanta's a team that you will never write off. As all of the Italian teams, we said that if there's anybody that needed to pull off something, it would be Atalanta, just because it's in their character. It's in the DNA of this team to be fighters. And even when they're counted out, I think that in their minds, they're still crazy enough to believe no matter what. We've seen it in their Champions League campaign. I think big game from Romero, big game from Derun, big game from one of their guys up top. Muriel, Zapata, doesn't matter. They will go through. They will knock Real Madrid out. Ryan.
I agree with Gaetano. This is going to be, I like Atalanta, man. I've said that. I still can't believe that they came this far for a club that hasn't spent no money. Gasperini's been unreal as a manager. But this is going to be a hard game for Real Madrid to lose, especially at the Bernabeu. And as Gaetano said, Benzema coming back. They were missing Benzema at Atalanta's home, in the first leg. But, that red card made a big difference in the first match. I don't think, had that red card not have been given, you would have seen a different outcome in that match. And Atalanta, they created a lot of chances, even with that man down. So as you said, yeah, the fight's there, but certain guys need to step up, especially Ilicic. He came on and did absolutely nothing.
I can't stand Ilicic anymore. Yeah. I'm done with that player. I'm done with him.
That's why he took him out after 30 minutes. I mean, the guy went in. I have never seen that. The guy goes in, and then you took him out because he was not, he was not running.
Mentally, he's one of the weakest players.
If you could go back, there was nobody in front of the area. You always have to have somebody there. I mean, the guy took the ball, he had no pressure, nothing. This guy is not supposed to score. He's not somebody that usually scores. Mendy, whatever his name was. I think it was Mendy. It's going to be very, very difficult.
Guys, let's believe. We don't want to all our talent. Lazio's going to be out against Bayern Munich. We all agree. Unfortunately, Lazio's not going to be able to come back.
Right.
We'll hope for the best for all Italian teams in Europe. We're praying that at least we keep one.
Forza Atalanta. That's all I can say.
Hopefully, you guys believe in miracles. Make sure you stay tuned because we will be live for all the action. As always, guys, thank you for watching. Make sure you like the video, subscribe if you are new here, and we'll talk to you soon. Ciao, ragazzi.